Hey guys, East from FGC Academy here. Recently, Capcom released the Season 2 patch notes for Street Fighter V, which details all of the buffs and nerfs to the entire cast as well as changes to the game system. If you haven't seen that yet, it could be kind of difficult to sift through. It's a 92-page PDF file, and a lot of people are kind of scratching their heads at what do some of these changes mean. So what we've gone and done is we've taken a look at the change notes ourselves, and we've compiled a list of the more influential buffs and nerfs to each character as well as big changes to the system. So we'll be going through those and showing you some of the things that you should probably be looking out for going into Season 2. While we won't be covering every single buff and nerf for the characters, we will be talking about the ones that are probably the more important and we'll see bigger changes in gameplay as a result of them. So let's hop into the mix. So in Season 1, Kin was one of the characters who a lot of people felt had a really low risk for a really high reward. I mean, basically, Kin gets 3 hits and the game is over. He was known for being able to play in a very wild style, which some people liked, other people really abhorred. And I guess you can see that in the playstyles of a lot of people. For example, looking at the different playstyles from Eita versus Momochi, you can really see that Kin, he could be played smart, but to a less effective degree, I feel. But looking at some of the Season 2 changes, I think you're really going to see a lot of smart Kin play be more rewarded. His normals, in general, like across the board, are pretty much better on hit and block. For example, moves like Stand Light Punch are now +5 on hit, so you'll be seeing a lot more combos there. Things like Stand Medium Punch and Crouch Medium Punch are now at least +1 or +2 on block respectively. Again, Crouch Medium Punch, you're also being +5 on hit, so you're going to see a lot more combo damage coming out of him. EX Shoryuken against air opponents is now a hard knockdown. I think Capcom didn't really have a choice in giving Kin this because he's known as kind of the Shoryuken character, and the fact that we'll talk a little bit about it later, but the fact that all Shoryukens lost frame 1 invincibility except for EX reversals kind of put Kin in a weird place of being just a different Ryu. So I guess this is one of the ways they can differentiate the characters, and that's the fact that when you land an EX Shoryuken, you get a hard knockdown. So you get more, I guess, I don't want to say set play, but you get a better chance at set play. And finally, one of the things that kind of took me by surprise was the fact that his forward heavy kick, the overhead, is now +2 on hit and -2 on block. So given the fact that it has such a long startup and it can also be feinted, seems kind of like a strong option for Kin. And also the fact that knowing almost no character is going to punish you for going for an overhead puts risk and reward, I guess, in Kin's favor for that move. And taking a look at some of the nerfs that he got, all of his Shoryukens canceled in the V-trigger, I think with the exception of EX on first and second hit, are now -7. So basically, if you see your opponent Shoryuken, block it, and they run at you by canceling in the V-trigger, you can basically do whatever you want. You can throw them, you could go for a pretty damaging combo. Just know that Kins can no longer get away with this at all. Also, we saw a few more nerfs coming to Kin's target combos. The back medium punch and the back medium punch, back heavy punch target combo especially. Back medium punch in itself is now 5 frame startup. That's up 1 frame from 4 frames in Season 1. This might be one of the reasons that moves like Crouch Medium Punch and Stand Light Punch are +5 on hit to take advantage of combo opportunities there. But a lot of characters, a lot of Kin players really liked buffering the back medium punch, back heavy punch, and this move saw some pretty big nerfs in the fact that you can whiff the back medium punch and the back heavy punch is still able to come out. So if you're just mindlessly pressing back medium punch into back heavy punch, hoping that at the right cancel window, hoping that if you get the hit it'll just come out on its own, that no longer works. Actually the window to cancel into the back heavy punch was actually made wider to punish those players who were just mindlessly doing back medium punch, back heavy punch. And finally, his EX Tatsu got reduced on block, so a lot of people use this as kind of like a pseudo dive kick, and I mean that's basically what it is to get in. But it saw reduced block stun by 6 to 7 frames, which basically means if you hit someone above the if someone blocks and you hit them above their waist, you're negative. You can't continue pressure. So you're going to have to be a bit more surgical with the way you use the EX Tatsu to get in as a dive kick. Going for just the toes or below the waist is going to be the only way Kin's going to be able to keep advantage when he just dive kicks in. So yeah, Kin overall, I feel like the back medium punch, back heavy punch nerf is really big. The fact that you can't throw that out mindlessly means that you have to play a bit smarter as Kin. But the fact that he did get a buff on his normals to make up for the reduction or the nerf to back medium punch, back heavy punch, makes him seem just about overall the same damage output wise, maybe a bit more damage. But yeah, you're going to have to play a bit smarter than you did in Season 1. So I guess the people who like that Wild West Kin style, no pun intended, they're going to find difficulty winning a bit more in Season 2. And so next, let's take a look at M.Bison, or Dictator. So just to prevent any confusion with the names here, I'm going to be calling M.Bison for the rest of this Dictator, just because of the names between Japanese, English, and other countries. Dictator wasn't a character who saw a lot of use Season 1, and understandably so. I mean, a lot of people felt that he just didn't have the tools to keep up with the top brass of the cast there. And he was considered, I guess, okay in the beginning of the season, but was relatively ignored during the middle and later half of the first season. So going into Season 2, some of the things you can expect from him, as far as buffs are concerned, he had a stun increase from 950 to 1000. This is, I think, erroneously reported on the patch notes as an increase from 950 to 100. So hopefully they're wrong and I'm right. It's 1000. But another big change that he got was the fact that he can store his V skill. So in the past he could take a hit or he could absorb a hit, kind of like a parry. And he would, if you held the button, he would immediately throw out a fireball. It was pretty fast. That traveled pretty much full screen. Now he can absorb the hit, and then the next time he presses the V skill, he throws the fireball, which is nice. I mean, it gives you some pressure against fireball characters, giving you an arguably better fireball overall than they have. And also the fact that he can absorb hits and get the fireball as well makes it useful in situations against characters who don't have fireballs. Also, last season, Dictator was a character who had a lot of trouble with anti-airs. A lot of people felt that the game was very jumpy and he just couldn't deal with that. I think one way Capcom has addressed this is by making his crouch heavy punch a little bit better. I mean, in the past, it was really tough to anti-air with this move, but now they've given it more damage on the frames where it's likely to anti-air more in the later frames. And also, on the later frames, it hits behind Bison. And so, because it's a slower attack, usually if you try to, like, anti-air someone who's jumping in at you immediately, by the time that you get the move out, they're behind you. Well, now the move will hit them behind you, which is a welcome change for Dictator players. And overall, I think he is the character who saw the biggest increase in stun on all of his special and unique attacks. All of his target combos, all of his special attacks feel like they got at least plus 50 stun. So basically, pretty much any special attack or any target combo that comes out of Bison is going to be dealing at least 150 to 200 stun. And finally, he got a lot of buffs to his down forward heavy punch. And now he can, that's the move that kind of like sweeps over you, or kind of like reaches over you and comes down. He can now juggle with that, which seemed kind of strange to me. I'm not really sure what kind of combos he's going to be able to do with that. But it has juggle potential apparently, but it does knock down on air hits. So I guess it's kind of like your ender when you want to knock someone down and they're right next to you. And so I'm assuming that he'll have more juggle opportunities off of combos and end with that. As far as nerfs go, you know, Bison didn't really get a ton of huge nerfs. Um, he did get, unfortunately, some of his Psycho Inferno damage reduced. 10, 20, and 30, respectively. So light, medium, and heavy got reduced a bit. Also, his stand light kick got buffed, but also got nerfed at the same time. And I think the nerf is a bit harder than the buff was. So, just so I fill you in here, the stand light kick was originally 4-frame startup in Season 1. Now it's 3-frame startup, which is great, but at the same time, he lost frame advantage on that move. So, on hit, it used to be +4, so you could continue comboing after. Now it's +2. So while you don't get to continue comboing, you get to continue pressuring, which honestly isn't awful for Bison. It does reduce his smaller combos, if that makes sense. So like things coming from lights are going to be harder to do, but it gives him the pressure to continue. Excuse me, it gives him a reason to continue pressuring when the opponent blocks or is hit by a stand light kick. And also the medium punch, down forward, heavy punch target combo, where he kind of like hits you and then sweeps over your head, is now more negative on block. It was increased by 2 frames, so in the past it was -6, so it was really difficult to differentiate between when he just did a medium punch linked into down forward heavy punch, and when he did medium punch and chained it into the down forward heavy punch as a target combo. Now it's going to be a bit less ambiguous which one he's doing, so you can punish him and when you block it more often. So yeah, Dictator overall is going to see more damage. He got a stun increase at the same time. I think the biggest thing that came out of him was the fact that he got more stun on everything. So you can expect to be getting stunned if you get hit by Bison a lot. There were some other small changes. For example, his crouch heavy kick was made worse. I guess they want him to stop random sliding in, which, I mean, I get it, right? They tried to make mindless moves worse. Also, moves like the EX Devil Reverse can't move backwards anymore, so there's a bit less mix-up potential there. But he just has a lot more raw damage. So, I mean, I guess, unlike Season 2, I guess more like Season 2 Kin, 2 hits and you're stunned and then you can probably be killed by Bison. So hopefully we'll be seeing a little bit more play out of him. He's got an improved anti-air. Hopefully he's got some better combos, better juggles. So maybe you will be seeing Bison a bit more used in Season 2. Next up, let's take a look at Nash. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Let me know what you thought about the changes so far in the comments below. Also, let us know what characters you'd like to see next. So we are trying to get these out as soon as possible, hopefully finishing up the entire cast in about 2 or 3 weeks. So let us know who you want to see next. Thanks, take care, keep on fighting.